There we go. Hi, everybody. It's Debbie Kramer. I'm the Accessible Technology and Government Documents Librarian here at Colgate University, and I'm here to talk to you about finding research materials for your class. This tutorial is meant to be specifically for the Education 308 Global Anthropologies of Education, but just about anybody can use this information to find some materials. So first thing first, we're going to go to the library's homepage. Here we go. Just find it cul.colgate.edu, or you can Google Colgate University Libraries. Either way, I'll get you here. So come to this page, you want to scroll down a little bit and find the course and subject guides link. When you click on this, it'll take you to our library guides page. There are three types of guides that we have. We have the course guides, which are developed in collaboration with your professors to specifically support a class. We have subject guides. These are all the major, minors, and programs. And it's just collections of materials that are going to be relevant for these specific subject areas. And lastly, we have the topic guides. Topic guides it's basically everything else, all the other information that didn't fit specifically into other places. Feel free to take some time and kind of explore this a little bit later. We won't be going over that in this particular video. But the first thing we want to do is go to our course guides and find the EDUC 308 Global Anthropologies of Education. So here's the page. You can tell you're at the right one because you have a nice, great big head of mine over here on the side. We'll go ahead and click on the Articles tab. This is just a small subset of the journal article databases and materials that we have. Just wanted to make it a little bit easier on you so you can search. These are separated out by just really kind of like broad topic article databases, things that could have a little bit of everything on everything. There's also a selection on subject-specific article databases. And then I also have the suggested journals. These were taken directly from your syllabus. It's not an exhaustive list, as it says. The bold are the ones that are particularly useful for major trends, as your professor had stated. Not all of these have links. We don't have complete full text access to all of these. But you can also search all of these within the database's professional development collection, ERIC, or JSTOR. They might be in several of these or just one or two of these in here. So at the very top of the page, I want to point out we do have a link to the Great Big Search Box. This is the Great Big Search Box that's from the library's homepage. When you click on that, it'll take you to just a plain search box. Doesn't look like the library's homepage at all, but it's the exact same thing. So basically what this does is it searches about I think it's, I can't remember. It just searches a lot of our most popular databases. And it also searches ebooks, it searches our catalog, it searches all sorts of stuff. You're just going to get a lot of information by searching in here. So I'll start out by typing in women and education and Afghanistan. Let's enter. Then we get our nice little results page here. Whenever you're doing any kind of searching and you're looking specifically for journal articles, you always want to come over here to the left-hand side of your screen. There's a refine your search section right at the top. It gives you the options of full text available, scholarly and peer review, or just searching the catalog. You always, when you're looking for journal articles for Colgate research, you want to hit the scholarly and peer review. This limits it to just the scholarly and peer-reviewed journal articles. What is scholarly and peer-reviewed? Basically, it means that somebody who's usually like a professor or somebody who has a PhD, somebody who's a specialist in a particular discipline, has done a ton of research. They wrote an article, they submitted it to a peer-reviewed article where an entire panel of peers meaning experts in the field, have reviewed the article and they have given feedback on it and they said, yes, this is really good article, this is really good information, or maybe you need to change this, and it gets published, basically. Usually this is a pretty long process. If you're searching for information on a particular event that has taken place. It typically takes about 5 years for any kind of information to wind up in scholarly or peer-reviewed articles. That's how long this kind of checking process takes. So we have scholarly peer review, so we know all of these are going to be pretty okay information to start with. To access the article, you want to just click on the full text available. At this point, when you're off campus, it'll take you into this secure sign-on page. It's basically the exact same page that you use to log in to the portal. It just asks for your username and your password. You want to log in with your Colgate username and password in order to get access. So here you can see, here's the particular article, and you could just click on that and it'll get to it. There's also a lot of extra information. If you click on more information, it gives you a link to the permanent link. This is really good when you're off campus so that you can always return here and you can always find this article again. Maybe you downloaded it and then you accidentally deleted it. You can copy this permanent link to a Google document so you can always access it again. So this just gives you the abstract information with it, a little bit more information. Really important is looking at these subjects. Sometimes they're called subjects, sometimes they're called topics, keywords, all sorts of things. These are basically terms that were assigned to this particular article, kind of telling you what it's about: cultural influences, student attitudes, foreign countries, disproportionate representation, women's education. If you want to, you can use these to kind of make your search a little bit more specific, find other articles that are on this particular topic. There's some extra information like altmetrics and all sorts of stuff underneath here. You don't need to pay any attention to that. It doesn't do anything for your research. So maybe this is a good article, we really want it, and we want to find more articles that are specifically on student attitudes. So you can come back up here to your search box. We had typed in women, education, Afghanistan. And so now we're going to add in student attitudes. As you can see, when I type it in, I put quote marks around it. This is because the way that it's searching right now, it's searching for women and education and Afghanistan and student attitudes as a phrase. If we didn't have those quotation marks in it, it would search for women and education and Afghanistan and student and attitudes. But we specifically know that student attitudes is a phrase we want to look for. So I'm just going to hit search on that. You can see it remembers that we're still on the scholarly and peer-reviewed articles. And oh, hey, it's the exact same article that came up with the very top one. There are also other articles that are on this particular similar one. So that's kind of how you can search through this particular, the great big search box, either from the library's homepage or from your course guide. I'm now going to go back to the course guide, back to the articles tab, and talk about a couple other databases. Let's go ahead and get into JSTOR. You want to make sure when you're off campus that you don't just go to JSTOR.org or Google JSTOR or anything like that. You have to go in through the link supplied by the libraries. And this way it will tell it that you're off campus, but you are a Colgate person, and it'll give you the opportunity to sign in with the secure sign-in page with your username and password to get full access to it as though you were on campus. So, so this just takes you right into JSTOR, into the advanced search. We're going to try the exact same search terms: women, education, and Afghanistan. You can also add in the extra search term that we had. I'm just going to go with this. One other thing that you can also do, some people find this really useful, is you can also put each of these words into its own separate search box: women, education, and Afghanistan. This search is the exact same search as having women, education, and Afghanistan all in the same line up in the very first search box, because this is what it's searching. It's searching women and education and Afghanistan. And it's looking for it anywhere it can find these words. So I'm going to click on the search button. With JSTOR, you do not need to tell it that you want only scholarly or peer-reviewed articles, because JSTOR is all scholarly or peer-reviewed. It's a nice thing about JSTOR. You will probably want to limit it to just journal articles. Otherwise, you'll get book chapters and other materials. I'm going to hit journals, limit it to just our journals. And here we have the results page, the very first article, Feminism, Peace in Afghanistan, from the Journal of International Affairs. You'll notice with this one, it uses topics instead of subject headings, but it'll give you extra subject headings that were related to this particular article, so that if you want to use that, just like we did with the great big search box, you can, as well as many other articles are within here. So let's go back to our library's page, or to the course guide. And I'm going to come down here and click on Professional Development Collection. Now, this particular database is an education subject-specific database. That means everything in this database deals with education. So with this one, you don't even have to put in education. You could just put in women and Afghanistan. Or you can put Afghanistan on the second search box, whichever way you want to do it. Now, with Professional Development Collection and pretty much every other database that we have except for JSTOR, you will need to go and find the scholarly peer-reviewed journals tiki box on here. It's about halfway down the page. I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, I just want scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Tell it to search. And here we have all of our results. And again, you can see over here on the left-hand side, underneath the current search box information, there's a limit to full text, scholarly peer-reviewed journal articles, and cover story, with scholarly and peer-reviewed checked. So you know scholarly and peer-reviewed, that's what you got. And here it'll take you directly to PDF full text for a number of these articles. Just look for PDF full text or HTML full text. You will come across some of these articles that just say Colgate article linker. That doesn't mean that we don't have it in full text online. It just means it has to do a second search. So for this article, this is the third result for our search terms women and Afghanistan. And the third result is the women of Afghanistan from Social Education, January, February 2002. And it has Colgate article linker underneath it. So I'm going to click on Colgate article linker. And it'll take you right to the secondary screen, which will tell you, yes, we do have the full text online. So you can just click on that, wait for the page to load. And here you have the full text of the article. So full text, other things on here. So let's go back to our course page. So we have subject-specific articles, we have journal articles. Let's go into the APA tab. So what APA tab is, this is, I've gone ahead and embedded this into your course guide. This was developed by librarians here at Colgate to specifically lead students through how do you create an APA subject or bibliography for your paper. It gives you some information on the standard book format. You usually have last name and initial, the years in parentheses, the book title is in italics. You include the place of publication, a colon, and then the name of the publisher. For standard article formats, you have last name, comma, first initial, the year in parentheses, the article title, you do not put it into, let me bring down an example of this. You do not put the journal article in quotes. You just write it out, just right there. But you do put the title of the journal itself into italics, followed by the volume number, the issue number, and then the page numbers of where you got the article from. This page has information about all sorts of information, sacred or religious texts, journal articles, books. It even has like Twitter, Facebook, other places where you might be getting information. If you don't find enough information on here to help you actually create your, and it gives you the in-text citation as well as what your bibliography is supposed to look like, you can click on the citation style guides in your course guide. And the third link on this page is APA Formatting and Style Guide. This will take you to the Purdue University OWL, or Online Writing Lab. This is a really good, high quality materials and just a slightly different format to look at it that can really help you when you're trying to find what your in-text citation and bibliography are supposed to look like. Finally, we can go down to data and stats. This is just data and statistical information dealing with education topics. You may or may not need to use this when you're working on your paper, but I did want to point it out to you. There's several other resources, and you can always go back to our LibGuides page and the library guide page and take a look at other subjects. Maybe you want to look at educational studies. Maybe you want to look at women's studies. You can also go into Middle Eastern studies, whatever areas you want to look at. There's tons of information that we try to just kind of organize for you. But if you're having any problems with your research, or you're having any problems accessing some of these resources, you can go ahead and contact me. My email is right here. It's dkramer@colgate.edu. That's DKRAHMER at colgate.edu. The fastest way to get a hold of me is by emailing me at this address. I usually answer fairly quick. You can also, we can set up a Google Hangouts or a Google Meet for us to talk online. We can connect through Zoom and have a face-to-face conversation. You can even call me. Email me and I'll give you a phone number to call, and you can call me and we can talk about this. Just whatever you need, please let me know. I'm here to help you. So I believe that is just about everything. Again, any problems, please let me know. Thank you very much for watching.